She is a missionary Benedictine nun, an activist, author, educator, feminist, theologian, and leader. Cited as one of the 100 most inspiring persons in the world at the centennial of International Women's Day, at 86, she has supported some of the most controversial issues encompassing reproductive health to sexual orientation and gender expression. With us now on Thought Leaders, please welcome Sister Mary John Mananzan, OSB. So blessed to have you with us, Sister Mary John. Thank you so much for joining us and in this brand new year.
Yeah.
So what are your
I'm
hopes
honored. Okay.
and your prayers for the new year?
Oh,
Sister?
okay. No, I have so many. But the
So we
most
could probably go
important
through
thing,
them.
I hope we can have a solution for corruption. Because our corruption is interred in our bones from up to down. And ang nakikita ko yun, ang nakakasagabal sa atin. I can talk Tagalog, no?
Yes, of course.
That is the reason why we are not progressing, even though we are one of the richest countries in Asia, because of corruption. So ang wish ko sa New Year, sa lahat sa atin, because corruption is from up down, please let us fight corruption. We cannot save the whole world nor the whole Philippines, but whenever we see corruption in our area of influence, let us fight it.
Lumala po ba ang corruption? Because that's really been endemic in previous decades. I mean, you've lived more than 80 years experiencing corruption. In what way do you think that has worsened? Baka makapagbigay kayo ng
like
mga
for example, in the
ehemplo.
government, no? So many funds. Anong nangyari sa fund? Ngayon, yung confidential fund, yung mga ganyan. O yung Maharlika fund na yan, that will be a source of corruption. Basta may fund. Pati nga yung fund for COVID, naibigay bang lahat on time? No. Why? Di ba? Yung mga PhilHealth, mga ganyan. We have a hospital in Pambuhan, Northern Samar. For the poor. I tell you, hindi funding sila, refunding. And they refund you after 1 year, after 2 years. Anong ginagawa nila sa pera? Di ba? So, yung corruption na yun, but not only in the government level, also in industry, in companies, even in schools. Do you know once, merong isang nanay na pumunta sa akin, entrance exam sa Saints ko. May dala-dala siyang sulat ng obispo. Parang, bibigyan akong sulat. Sabi ko, Mrs., pag yung anak nyo nakapasa, no problem. Pag hindi po nakapasa, kahit nasulat ng Santo Papa, hindi ko po o-honorin. Because it is against your daughter. If she failed, that means she cannot do it, and you are going to force her to make her sick, headache, gano'n. So kahit na po, letter pa ng Santo Papa, hindi ko po yun tatanggapin.
Nakapasa ho ba?
Nakapasa naman. So, hindi na kailangan. Pero ibig ko sabihin, yung natural na tanong sa mga tao na kailangan merong kilala dyan sa taas, yung patronage system. Yung kung meron kang kilala, makakalusot ka. Even sa mga traffic, no? Pati nga, gagamitin ka, sister. Meron kaming driver, nandun nakastabi niya. Nag-wrong turn siya. May pulis. Naku, binigay niya yung kanyang driver's license. Nakalagay sa likod, card ng general. Wow. Binigay niya gano'n, kampado siya. Ganyan. Sabi nung pulis, sige, papalampasin kita. Hindi dahil sa card nito, dahil kay sister. Sabi ko, gagamitin ako nitong tao nito. Sa pagkalampas namin, sabi ko, I will not tell you her name. Sabi ko, alam mo, nakalampas ka. Na huwag mong iisipin na just because katabi kita, hindi ka na mahuhuli. Kasi ipapahuli kita, sabi ko. Pero endemic talaga in all classes of society. Sa akin, that is the greatest reason why hindi tayo uunlad. So my greatest wish, sana mabawas-bawasan man, because I cannot believe that it will be erased.
So paano po kung magsisimula tayo sa ating sarili?
Oo.
Because parang ang vicious cycle ito.
Kaya nga, oo.
Many decades have passed, ganun
True.
pa rin. Many administrations have passed. Pero ganun
Edukasyon
pa rin
pa rin.
tayo. Nasa edukasyon.
Nasa edukasyon pa rin, no? At saka hindi lang sa formal education, maraming informal education din. Yung meron nga yung mga supposedly mga community organizing, even sa mga grassroots na ganun, kailangan ipakita natin, dapat meron tayong sense of, honesty, no? At saka yung sense of the common good. Corruption is against the common good. Diba? Alam mo, wala rin tayong sense of common good eh. If my family is okay na sa, never mind the rest of the world. never mind the rest of the country. Isa pa yun. Kaya yun din ang ang wish, ang dami kong wish sa New Year.
But how do we start then, sister, na-mention niyo yung pamilya,
Oo.
na makasariling pamilya,
Oo.
papaano tayo makabubuti kung
Oo.
ang ating roots
Oo.
nagsisimula sa pamilya?
That is why I am saying nga, edukasyon. Ang edukasyon kasi sa schooling lang eh. Education starts in the home. Di ba? So, kailangan mo rin, you have to have also, kaya meron akong Women's Studies Institute. Itinuturo namin yan sa mga kababaihan. Kung ano talaga ang ibig sabihin ng empowerment of women. And then pinapasok na namin lahat ng values ba, no? And we have grassroots, we have from all A, B, C, D, E, no? Sa akin, that's the only way. Education, formal or informal.
Paano po kayo naging interesado sa women activism? Maraming naisulat, no, sa inyong pag-aktivista, pero hindi po natin naririnig pa ang inyong background, yung
sige.
how you were brought
Ikukwento
up
ko sa'yo.
in a very activist way.
Okay. Nag-umpisa ako as political activist kasi under Marcos talagang lumalaban ako dyan, no?
Yung po yun sa La Tondena, no? Doon yung parang baptism of fire
yung La
ninyo.
Tondena kasi yung talagang nakita ko yung mga workers kasi talagang sobra ang nila oppression. Tapos may tumawag sa akin, alam mo, kasi it was forbidden noon ang strike, pero nag-strike sila because it was too bad. Ngayon, may mga madi na kaming aktivista na dyan. Tinawagan ako, sister, punta tayo sa La Tondena kasi baka sila lusubin ng Metrocom ang pangalan ng police, no? O sige, 11 o'clock yun ng gabi. Sabi ko, I have to ask permission from my superior. Itulog na yung superior ko. So sinulatan ko siya, Dear Sister Catherine, I'm going to the La Tondena strike. I don't know when I'll be back. Love, Mary Jan. Tapos pinace ko sa kanyang door. Mabuti naman kasi umuwi ako mga 2:00 na. Kasi anong nangyari? Pagpunta namin doon, sabi ng mga Metrocom nung dumating, labas kayo kung hindi papasukin namin kayo. And some of our sisters went in, nakipagkapit-bisig sa mga workers. Pumasok ang Metrocom, pinagpupukpok ang mga workers. How do you feel as a sister? Pinukpok yung katabi mo, ikaw hindi kasi madre ka. Tapos isang katabi mo, pinukpok din. Lumabas sila, duguan talaga. Duguan talaga at they push them into buses. And then after that, alam kami, mga 23 sisters, mga ganyan, nagtitingin kami, hindi kami pinapasok sa bus. So, nakaalis silang lahat, 6 buses. Nandun kami, what happened? So, nag-reflection kami ngayon. Ang sabi namin, we have to continue, this is really something terrible, no? So, we have to start from the beginning na kasama na tayo ng mga workers, hindi sa strike lang, kundi sa kanilang conditions of work, yung ganun-ganon. So, nagtayo kami ng Friends of the Workers right away, right then and then, no? So, puro political activist ako, no? Kasi after that, yun namang mga, kasi sila, Islam era naman sila, nakatira yung mga workers. So, nasangkot naman ako sa demolition ni Imelda, dadating kasi yung mga artista na mga Van Cliburn, mga ganyan. Siyempre, hindi dapat makita Islam era. So, pinaggiba. Ang minobilize naman namin, mga kababaihan, no? Sabi nila, saan ba dadaan yung bulldozer? Punta tayo doon. So, they lined up the women. They lined up mga santo nila, mga santo, Our Lady of the Rosary, ganyan. Tapos, mga buntis na babae, kaming mga madre, lahat kami. Tingnan natin kung bulldozer tayo ng bulldozer. Hindi naman, siyempre, no? That's how we saved some of the, Islam area. So, nandun pa rin ako. Then I was invited to Venice pa. I was invited by the World Council of Churches for a conference on women. Hindi pa ako feminist noon hindi ko pa alam yon. So anyway, pagpunta ko doon sa Venice, sa conference namin, may mga nagkwento sila tungkol sa incest, tungkol sa pagbububog ng asawa, ganyan. Teka nga muna, meron to sa amin yan. Pero ako nagrarally ako against yung soldier na nag-rape ng detainee. Bakit ako hindi wala akong ginagawa kung ang itatay ay ni-rape ang bata. So that right there, sabi ko, no, we will have to go into another pakikipaglaban. Yung pakikipaglaban sa rights ng kababaihan. Mabuti naman pagdating ko dito, meron akong nakilalang 3 actually si Ging Dela, si sa OPAP, no? Si Remy Rican, where she's now, she was before in the PCW. And another is Irene Santiago who is in Davao. Kami, nagkasama-sama kami. And kami ang unang nagtayo ng isang feminist organization dito.
Pero
no?
sabi nga ninyo, hindi niyo alam pa kung ano ang feminism.
Hindi
So
pa.
saan siya nagmula sa inyong kabataan?
Nag-aral kami. Pinag-aralan namin what is feminism all about. Natuto lang akong maging concerned about the plight of women and children. Doon nga sa Venice. Ano na ako noon? Madre na ako noon. Di ba? Nakalatonde na ako noon. Di ba? That's my baptism of fire. Doon ako talagang naging active. Before that, hindi ako nagpupunta sa rally.
So you did not expect to be doing this, to be an activist?
Of course not. I did not plan
But
it.
did you plan to be a nun? I mean, how did you get into the congregation?
That's another thing. I was in Saints ko, and then siyempre puro mga madre doon. Alam mo naman, dadalhin mo yung mga libro ng mga madre, dadalhin mo sila sa kumbento. So, kayo nasa loob doon, no? At meron mga akong mga pilyang mga kaklase. Kasi nung araw, ang hindi ganito. Wala kang meron ka pang frontlet, meron ka pang wimple. Hindi nga nakikita yung kanilang tenga, no? So, tinitingnan namin na gano'n. So, naging curious na nga ako, ano ba yun? And also, of course, nagre-retreat kami. And then, one time, naupo ko doon sa ruins ng aming St. Cecilia. So, pinag-aaralan ko, may isang libro na talking about spiritual life, your life of prayer, ganyan-ganyan. Sabi ko, mukhang maganda to, no? That's one. Tapos, I also got a book na ang pangalan na, You Can Change the World. I can change the world. Pero ito naman tungkol sa how to serve the poor, ganyan-ganyan. That time, in my time, kung you have to serve the poor, you go to the madre kasi wala pang mga social worker na masyadong marami. Kaya kung gusto mong to serve the poor, mag-madre ka. So that is the one that urged me. And I was only 19. Sabi ko, I will enter early kasi kung hindi para sa akin, I can go out and still marry. Di ba? Pero hindi. Kaya kung nagsatanong sa akin, why did you become a nun? Sabi ko, don't ask me why I become a nun. You ask me why I remain.
Why did you remain?
Yeah, because every year, I find more and more reasons why I will stay. No? Like for example, nung nagdi-deepen ang spiritual life ko, I found that there is so much calmness and serenity na I got in touch with, I realized na God is not out there. God is within myself, within ourselves. And natuto akong nag-meditation, nag-contemplation, yung ganon-ganon. And for me, that is a wonderful, development of my pagkatao. And then, yun nga, because sabi nga ng na, kailangan kami for the poor, so doon ako talagang naging interest ko ang makatulong ang mga pobre.
At sa ngayon, ang pinagkaka-interesan ninyo yung ating transport strike. You've come in solidarity with the
just
jeepney
because they're poor.
Strikers because of that the modernization program that the government wants.
Okay.
Ano po yung pagkakamali at bakit natin nilalabanan ang isang programa na sana po yung makabubuti sa ating klima or sa ating livelihood? Kasi nga sabi nila, it's modernizing the transport system.
No, not at all. Alam mo, first of all, ang mga jeepney drivers, they own the jeepney, most of them. When you own something, you have a sense of dignity. You have a sense of self-esteem. Pag dumating ang modernization, hindi naman nila kayang bilihin. So they will never be owners. They will be either magko-cooperative or magiging super ng mga entrepreneur na bibili na naman na karami-rami. Anong nangyari sa sense of ownership? Nawalan ang dignity ng mga jeepney drivers kasi hindi nila, ibang-iba yung you own something. You know that, no? The ownership of something gives you a certain, self-esteem, meron kang dignidad, pero kung ka na lang, employee ka na lang, ganyan-ganyan, mawawala yon. Number 2, jeepney is a part of our culture. Pag nagpo-promote tayo sa laging may jeepney dyan. And it is very unique. Tayo lang kasi gumawa ng jeepney from the jeep of the American nang dumating dito. That's the origin of the jeepney. At tingnan mo naman, ang gaganda ng mga dekorasyon, ganyan-ganyan. So, I am against this modernization. Ang gawin lang nila, dapat lahat ng jeepney drivers matuto na maglinis ng kanilang mga tambutso para they will not cause pollution. Yun ang dapat gawin. Lahat ng jeepney dapat ay i-renovate at saka i-renovate lang, huwag kang bibili ng iba. I-renovate, pagandahin at gawing hindi polluting vehicle.
So ang hinihiling po natin, additional time, i-extend po yung deadline.
Hindi, for me, not at all. Ayun ako radical kasi ako eh. Ayoko nung, pareho rin. Pinospone mo, yung mga jeepney drivers, they will still not own, di ba? So it's not postponement. I'm saying, give up the idea. Just help the jeepney drivers improve their jeepneys. That's my stand.
Mabalikan po natin yung inyong women's studies,
Okay.
dahil napaka halaga po nung feminism na tinutuldukan din natin ng children's rights.
Ay, of course.
Dahil when you talk about women, you can't not talk
you
about
cannot separate
children.
the children.
You've been involved most recently in a pioneering effort in Cyber Guardians Philippines.
Yes.
Paano po kayo napunta rito at ano po yung gusto nyong mangyari for 2024 for this organization?
Okay, actually, ang nag-recruit sa akin dyan is, ang pangalan niya, I really wish you could invite her, Chichi Sangil. Siya po yung, kasi ang nangyari dyan, 2 years ago ata, or 3 years ago, nagpa-meeting ang government agency kasi sinabi ng UNESCO, we are the hub of child cyber prostitution. So, magmula doon sa parang multisectoral na conference, may mga grupo, may grupo ng mga tao doon na nag-isip sila nga ng how to fight against OSAIC, no? Ngayon, after 2 years na sila yung nagagawa ng ganon, they had it, sa SEC, pina-SEC approval nila. Of course, nung pina-SEC approval nila, kailangan nila ng mga officers. So in-invite niya ako to be the BOT chair. At ang BO vice chair is si Father Chodolo ng SIFAM of Ateneo. Pero lahat ng mga meron pa kami kasama sa BOT na PNP, si Sheila Portento, who used to be the one in child protection. Yung ganon. At meron kami din sa international justice, si Cathy naman, yung lawyer naman. So, yun ang aming board of trustees. And tatlo yung aming main objective. The first one is, of course, preventive. And preventive means awakening, yung conscientization, awakening. So, ito hanggang dyan pa lang muna kami. Kasi we are trying to reach, we borrowed the term one nation approach. Alam mo naman kung saan galing yun. No? Ang ibig sabihin, lahat dapat, simbahan, eskwelahan, LGUs, lahat. Actually nga, meron na kami ngayong MO with Vico Soto. Pasig is our parang sample how it can be implemented. Kasi ang primero, preventive, no? Ang ikalawa is yung actual healing. That means to say, yung how do you help heal or psychologically help yung biktima nito kasi sobrang lalim ng trauma. And the third sana is reintegration. Mahirap. Kaya nandito na kami sa una. But this is our parang trajectory namin. Sana magmula sa pagmumulat, sana magkaroon talaga ng healing at number 2 sana ma-reintegrate. So yun ang aming
It's the full journey, and then a whole of nation approach, ika nga. So babalikan natin ang family. Ano po yung pwede nating gawin para gabayan ng tama ang pamilya? Para hindi na rin tumaganap. Itong OSAIC na tinatawag na online sexual exploitation and abuse of children.
Alam mo kasi, ang hirap na edukahin na ang mga parents. Kasi wala na sila sa eskwelahan eh. Kaya ang dapat dyan talaga, media. Kung may social media, ang social media kasi is a neutral thing. You can use it for the good and you can use it for the bad things. Yun ang ginagamit ng cyber bullying, ito yung OSAIC. Ginagamit nila yung social media and media as a whole to abuse children. Gamitin din natin 'yon. maggawa pa kayo ng mga programa na magkaroon kayo ng maraming dialogue na ganito. Nakikinig naman ang mga parents siguro sa mga programa. Doon tayo makakapag-eduka ng karamihan. Pero kami ngayon, talagang nagpupunta kami sa eskwelahan talaga. No? And tinuturoan din na nagbibigay din kami ng seminar sa mga teachers. Kasi yung teachers, sila na ang magsasabi sa mga estudyante. Hindi na namin pinupunta ng estudyante. Sa teachers na lang kasi sila mas wide ang kanilang ano. So, pati mga church organization like CWL, they have chapters all over the Philippines. There are 56,000. Ngayon inimbita nga kami na magkaroon ng general assembly. So, yun ang ginagawa namin. That is education, formal and informal, no? Edukasyon kasi hindi lang sa eskwelahan. Kung hindi sa lahat, media kayo, you are the most educating, what you call that, means sa ating anong panahon ngayon. Saan natututo ang mga lahat ng tao? Sa media, social media. Hindi ba? Doon nila natutunan mabuti at doon nila natutunan masama. Ang gusto ko lang i-emphasize dito sa OSEC ay the perpetrators are 70% parents and relatives in the house. And I find that terrible because it shows nawawala na ng values, family values na sinasabi natin. Kasi kahit naman ganong kahirap ka, aabusuhin mo yung anak mo. Kung magagawa mo yun kung wala ka ng value ng anong mangyayari sa anak ko. Kasi it's a traumatic, lifetime traumatic thing. Sasabihin na, hindi naman ginagalaw ng mga customer kasi nasa Japan, nasa Australia, pero ikaw ang gumagalaw. Mas worse pa yan kaysa stranger ang gumagalaw ng anak mo. At hindi lang yun. Can you imagine, meron kami na 7-year-old boy na anak, papasex niya yung 5-year-old na kapatid niya, and they will make a movie out of it, a video. Ayun, ako, malaking pera, no? In fact, I'm sure you know that there is what you call the dark web sa web natin. Pero not everybody daw can get in. But then you can see all kademonyohan na programa, no? So, yun ang gusto kong ma-emphasize natin. Mga nanay, please, wag niyong sirain ang future ng iyong anak. Kasi lifetime trauma to. At kung hindi mo talaga na bigyan ng proper, what you call that, psychological, some of them will become their own pimps in the future. And that is terrible. Kasi permanent na yun. Diba? Diba? And I call also for shelters na talagang, yun ang nagugustuhan kong mga shelter, kagaya ng yung Laura Vicuña. I don't know if you have heard of that. Sila kasi, they take in mga victims of incest, pero talagang thorough. Matitira sa kanila yung mga bata, pag-aarali nila, may guidance counseling, may and they can remain with them till they are 18 years old. And only when they have a job, bago sila sasabihin, okay, you can go. That is what I call really comprehensive and talagang tunay na pag-guide sa mga biktima ng karahasan na ganito.
Na-mention niyo po yung social media and alam po natin na na-red tag po kayo.
Opo.
Being the founder of Gabriela at na-red tag
wait,
po.
I have to make
Yes.
There is no one founder of Gabriela. Actually, ang Gabriela started when I was one of the two that how do you call that? We had a seminar in St. Scholastica's College, no? Tapos ano ba yun? I forgot na. Basta magiging 40 years na kami. Ngayon, doon mismo sa na yon, sa meeting na yon, kasi lahat yun, mga WO, mga WATCH, lahat, mga women's organization, doon sila nag-resolve na let us have an umbrella organization that will coordinate all our efforts for empowerment of women, for struggling for the equality of women in all fields of life. Doon nag-born nanganak. Kasi ang tawag nila sa overarching na ito na magko-coordinate ito ay Gabriela. No? Of course, it's in honor of Gabriela silang. Kasi yung matapang natin. No? Pero later on, nilagyan na natin ng General Assembly. Lagyan mo na dapat ng meaning ang Gabriena. But that was the origin of Gabriela talaga.
So kung pag-uusapan natin ng social media, ang sabi nga ninyo, it could be either good or bad.
Oo.
Ginamit sa masama,
Oo.
na red tag po kayo.
Oo.
At you've denied that.
Oo.
Pero sa tingin nyo ba, it came close to being infiltrated perhaps by communist groups because of its activist nature?
Kasi iba naman ang ano, I mean, maybe there would be kind of pareho siguro ng principle, no? Kasi ang principle naman ng what, NPA or what, ang means lang ang we are not in favor. Pero ikaw ba, against ka ba for more equal distribution of resources? You are for that too. At you are not for the participation of people in your governance. Of course you are too, di ba? So yung makikita mo na what they call that, adhikain ng revolusyon, o what they call tama, okay. Pero yung means lang natin ang tinututulan, no? Kaya anybody, any group can have the same adhikain. Gusto natin more equal distribution of resources. Kasi yun ang ating problema, kaya hindi tayo besides corruption, is because there is a very unequal distribution of wealth. 2% of our people own and control 75% of all land and capital in the Philippines. 2% own 75%. So, ibig sabihin, 98% will divide 25%. That's poverty, di ba? Eh, sino namang ayaw na sana mag-equalize naman? Through a real land reform. Yung land reform natin kasi pasaw-saw lang yan eh. At sino na land reform? Yung middle, yung mga high na asyenda, wala namang nangyari. Sana a real genuine land reform. Sana, no? So, yun ang adhikain natin. So, yun ang sinasabi ko. Pwedeng pareho ang objectives. Pwedeng magkapareho, no? Yun ang masasabi ko.
Yun sa reproductive health law, lumagpas na tayo sa 10 years.
Oo.
10 years na siyang batas.
Mm-mm.
And you've supported that at the very
I
start,
supported it in the
guaranteeing access to contraception, fertility control, sexual education, and maternal care.
Yeah, this is
Sa tingin po ninyo, ano po ang nagawa nung 10 taon na yon? Happy ba kayo sa kinalabasan so far at sa nagaganap in terms of family planning and reproductive health?
I don't think so.
Bakit hindi po?
Eh kasi ang dami pa ring I mean to say, meron na bang talagang a real effective family planning na talagang may discipline na may gano'n. Parang wala akong nakikitang programa kahit na kanino. Di ba? Yung gano'n. At saka, yung hindi lamang yun, yung reproductive health dapat. Eh, ang dami pa nga namamatay na buntis. There's a lot of maternal death, no? So, ibig sabihin, sana, mabawas-bawasan naman yung mga gano'n. Di ba? Kung talagang effective ang batas at alam mo, ang isa pa nating defect as a people, ang galing-galing natin gumawa ng batas. The best, ang law lang sa women, there are 30 beautiful laws on women. Kasama na yung VAUSI dyan, yung reproductive, marami. Pero ang implementation, hindi tayo follow through. Even yung against domestic violence, hindi naman tinuruan yung mga barangay captain. Sabi nila, private lang yan kasi mag-asawa yan. Hindi lang nakita sa law, that is public already pag nag-aaway na at nagbubugbugan ng asawa. You have the right to intervene as a barangay chair. Alam ba yun ng mga barangay chairman? Chairman? Hindi, o barangay chair people, whatever it is. Pero kasi, dapat siguro pag may law, there should be a public education of all those who are concerned about the law para alam nila kung ano dapat nilang gawin. Eh, law, ang ganda-ganda. Pagkatapos ng magandang law, the end, satisfied na tayo. Eh, anong implementation? Kulang tayo doon sa implementation.
Sa ngayon po, ano ang ginagawa ng congregation or ng inyong grupo para magkaroon ng education within the ranks of LGUs na kailangan?
Well, sa akin kasi, ang mga kumbento kasi, they have their own apostolate. Ang apostolate namin is usually with the poor. Wherever we have an area where there are poor, doon kami nag-i-eduka, no? doon kami nakakapagbigay ng edukasyon kasi ino-organize namin ang mga kababaihan, mga kananayan. Yun, my congregation does that a lot among the poor, no? At saka, and most of us, we have 11 schools. Meron kami ang aming trust ng education namin ng buong congregation ko is education for justice and social transformation. At pinapairal namin yan sa lahat ng aming eskwelahan all over the Philippines. Na education for justice includes all justice of all kinds. Justice for women, justice for poor people, etc. And social transformation. Ibig sabihin, ang aming pinoproduce ng mga graduates are not just there to get a career para makakuha sila ng trabaho. They are there in order to be citizens that will transform society wherever they are. Kung nakikita nila dito sa area of influence ko, may mga corruption, may ganito, they have to do something about it. Yun ang aming pagtuturo. Kaya pati yung mga estudyante namin nare-red tag. Di ba? Ay, mga aktivista yan, mga ganyan yan. I don't mind. Ano ibig sabihin ng aktivista? Hindi ka pasibista, di ba? Hindi ba mas gusto mo yun? Tapos kung minsan sabi ko, ay, radical naman, Sister Median. Sabi ko, ano ba ibig sabihin ng radical? It comes from the word root, radix, radice. Ibig sabihin, kung ikaw radical, you analyze problems from the root, not from the superficial thing. At kung gagawa ka ng solution also from the root. So that is what the meaning of the radical. So, you call me radical. Well, I am very complimented. I am radical in that sense, okay?
And one of the more radical supports that you've given was the SOGI bill. You have supported the SOGI Equality Bill since it started in 2000. So nagtagal po siya, pabalik-balik. Nasa Kongreso, tapos pagdating sa Senado, it will again get blocked. So 2023 na nagkaroon po ng movement, pero ayun nga, na-block na naman sa Senado. Bakit po ganun? Sa inyong assessment, dahil 23 years na tayo naghihintay.
Actually, inimbita na ako ni Risa dyan ni Risa Ontiveros, kasi yun. Alam mo, na-troll ako doon. Kasi, ang sinabi ko lang naman, ibig sabihin nitong bill na to, bigyan natin ng karapatan ang sino man, anuman ang kanilang gender orientation. Bigyan natin ng the same karapatan as we all have. Like for example, na hindi sila ridiculin, hindi sila pagtatawanan, mabibigyan sila ng trabaho. Kaya sabi ko, I am for that bill because I want that they will enjoy the same rights as all of us. Pero ang nagiging meaning ng mga troll is I will approve everything that SOGIs do. Of course not. I mean, kung promiscuous sila, I will also condemn that. Like I will condemn heterosexual people na maraming babae, may maraming kabit. Ganun din 'yon. Whatever is forbidden for the heterosexual will also be forbidden for the SOGI. So I am not when I say I am for the rights, yeah, exactly that they should have the rights as everybody else. But I'm not going to condone everything that they do. And that is the problem ng mga trolls ko. Akala nila just because I am for the rights, I will approve of everything that they'll do. Of course not. Di ba?
Are you in favor of same-sex relationships?
Well, that is their decision. I'm not going to say approve or disapprove because I am not in that wala ako diyan sa kanilang what you call that, area of concern, no? So sa akin, they are all adults and they are the ones to decide what they want or what they think is good for them.
Si Pope Francis nagsalita in support of LGBTQIA+. Nasabi rin niya, sinusuportahan niya yung civil legislation that gives same-sex couples some rights and benefits.
Yeah, ibig ko sabihin, that's why they should have the same rights nga. But I'm not going to advocate anything that that is against our law or something like that.
Do you find that you have more support from the Vatican as you did in previous years? Sa loob ng 23 years na yun na paghihintay for the bill to become a law?
I never get any support of anything I do from anybody. From the Vatican pa naman. Diyos ko, ang Vatican laki-laki. Di ba?
So that leads us to the question, Sister, paano po nyo kinakayanan, or how do you thrive in an environment where aktivista nga kayo, may pinaglalaban, and not necessarily in conjunction with the beliefs of the congregation or the religious system that you're in?
Yeah, but when I say maybe we are not aligned, but I am not, there's nothing that talagang against na masasabi mo na I am yung parang kinokontra ko ang the real teaching of the church. I have not gone against any real teaching of the church. Ang ano ko lang doon kasi, iba-iba tayo kasi ng pananaw, and we should respect each other's views. At saka, sabi ko nga, I have not done anything that I will be excommunicated for, hindi ba? Pero dapat talagang we have to fight what is wrong, what is unjust, because that is also, alam mo, nung binigyan ako ng 30 minutes ng Senado to say something about my being red tag, sabi ko, do you know why I am an activist? Simple lang po. Jesus Christ had an option for the poor. Tignan mo, basahin mo lahat ng gospel, lagi siya nasa pobre. So Jesus had an option for the poor. As a nun, and even just as a Christian, I'm a follower of Christ. But as a nun, I should be a better follower of Christ. So if Christ had an option for the poor, I should have also an option for the poor. And if the poor are oppressed and exploited, salita lang, no, I have to be with them. Makikipagrally ako sa kanila, I will make statements for them, etc. Because that is what Jesus did. Di ba? So, I am just being a Christian. Sabi ko sa kanya, hindi ako nagpapapalo kay Mao Zedong or kay Trotsky, kay Lenin. Sa akin yan mga mga scholarship yan. Okay, I read that. I use Marx for the analysis of society kasi magaling. Ang Marxist analysis of society, kita-kita niya ang what is wrong. On that sense, as an author, I respect that, and I will get something from that Marx analysis of society that will help me. But I'm not going to adore Marx. Di ba? There's a difference.
Were you ever faced with the threat of excommunication because of your activism?
I have not done anything that merits excommunication. Like what? Because I work for women, because I am for the poor, because I am against corruption. Ano naman ang excommunication doon?
Did you ever think of leaving the congregation to pursue your activism?
Definitely not, because it's my congregation that gives me institutional support and institutional protection. Kaya nung naredtag ako, alam mo ba, yung sa Germany, they made a whole campaign for me. Akala nila kasi papatayin na ako, di ba? So, kasi ako, partner ako ng misyo sa akin, sila, they mobilized the whole. In fact, tumawag sila sa ambassador dito, si Anke pa noon. And Anke told me, can I see you, sister? Sige. Tinanong ako, are you in danger? Ganyan. Sabi ko, of course not. I mean, if I were a lay person, I would be. Kasi yung mga nare-register na kagaya ko, lay person sila, papasok lang sila sa bahay nila, papatayin na sila. Sa amin, dadaan ka pa sa gwardiya. Hindi sila makapasok. Di ba? So, because when there is an institutional protection and institutional support for mga mading katulad ko. No? Pero, ang very sad na lang, kagaya ko na lay person, pag na-red tag ka, papatayin ka talaga. They will assassinate you. Di ba? And that is why I feel for them. Ang dami na ngayon, di ba? Naglagay lang sa tarpaulin na ganun-ganun, mamaya patay na sila. Di ba?
So how do you encourage activism in the youth, in the social media era, knowing the risks of red tagging, and also the interest in maybe becoming part of the congregation? Nakikita niyo ba yung interes? Mas malakas ba sa ating youth? Or kailangan pa silang himukin na baka gusto niyo maging part of the community to be able to express this kind of activism?
Alam mo kasi, you don't go you don't enter the convent to be an activist. It just so happens that you are there and then you become an activist. But it's never a reason for you to go. Kasi, siguro lang yung congregation namin is, talagang meron silang, sa social transformation. But karamihan ng mga kumbento, wala yon. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, people do not go to the convent in order to be the activist. Of course, the opposite. Papasok ka dyan kasi gusto mo lang magkaroon ka ng peace and quiet and to be with God, ganyan. No? Kaya sa akin walang connection yon. I mean, that's never the reason why young people go. Pero sa mga young people, yung sasabihin ko lang, pwede ba magkaroon kayo ng critical thinking? Yun ang walang-wala. Kasi wala sa educational system natin. Kasi kung may critical thinking ka at nakikita mo may mali, may gagawin ka. Pero kung wala kang critical thinking, kung saan ang malakas na hangin, pupunta ka doon. Kung anong malakas na, fence-sitter ka. Kasi hindi mo nga na-analyze sa mind mo ano ba ang tama, anong mali. Kaya sa akin, advocacy for education, teach our young people critical thinking. Yun. And that will really bring them, hindi ko sinasabing train them to be activists. No. Critical thinking. It's up to them how they will use this critical thinking either as activists or as good government officials. Pwede naman yun eh. In fact, kami ngayon sa congregation namin, we are going to support anyone that we think will really do good to the government. Iso-support namin ang kanyang candidacy.
Well, the vigilant are certainly going to prepare for what may be a torrent of misinformation sa ating dalawang eleksyon in 2025.
Siguro nga,
Meron tayong national elections, yung midterm national elections, and also the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, yung kanilang kauna-unahang eleksyon. Ano ang pwedeng gawin ng kabataan ngayon para protektahan ang balota?
Ayun na nga ang ibig ko sabihin. Kasi wala silang gagawin kung hindi nila alam kung anong tama at mali. Kaya yun ang importante, no? Sana nga, kasi nga, kung they will have to go through school in order to do it. Kaya ang nakikita ko talaga, social media is so important. Social media and media as a whole, yung media talaga, no? Kasi yun talaga ang nakakapag-move ng tao, nakakapag-move ng mga bata. Especially mga bata, hindi na nagbabasa yan. Puro social media yan. So, kaya please, advocate for good programs. Good programs sa media as such at saka sa social media. Magkano kayo ng mga whatever na gagawin yung programa, doon kayo mag-eduka. Doon tayo mag-eduka ng kabataan. Kasi kung iisipin pa hanggang college sila, ay Diyos ko, ilang taon na yon. Pero ngayon, instant education ang kailangan. Kung ano ang tama, kung anong mali.
May mga quick questions tayo, requiring quick answers from fellow Kulasa, part of my team. So ito, galing sa kanila ito, sister. May dasal po ba kayong hindi sinagot ni God?
Well, ang sagot ng God either yes, no, and maybe, or later on. Alam mo, mayroon akong naging natutunan ko, tawag ko divine pedagogy. Kasi alam mo, a little kwento lang I went to Germany in October to accept a Pauline Jaricot Award. Binigyan ako ng business class ticket, nandun ako. Anong nangyari? Wednesday yon, Sunday. Wednesday, pasok ako sa opisina. Tinest ako ng COVID, positive ako. Ay, Diyos mio. So, positive ako, so hindi ako nakapunta sa seremonyas. Nagpunta ako, thousands of miles, naka-business class. Pagdating ko doon, nandun na ako sa hotel dahil hindi ako makapunta sa ceremonies. Ngayon, I was supposed to go home Sunday yon. Monday, I was supposed to go home because on Wednesday, I was supposed to take naman the highest award of CAP, Pro Deo et Patria. Nakadating ba ako? Hindi, kasi meron pa akong tawag mo doon, yung isolation pa. Hanggang Saturday pa. So, ang kumuha ng aking dito, yung aking award dito is yung aking presidente. Kaya I mentioned that, kasi divine pedagogy. Anong gusto ng Diyos? Mas gusto ko sana ako ang tatanggap, syempre, no? Pero God has His own reason why hindi ako nakaganon. So I wrote an article afterwards, Divine Pedagogy, the way God teaches us. God teaches us by saying yes or no, or maybe, or later on. Does God answer me? Yes. But it's not all. God answers me, but it's not always yes. And not always now. Okay? So God answers me, definitely, but it's never always yes. Okay? There's a difference between answering and answering yes, di ba? Okay.
Yung isa pong tanong, nagtampo po ba kayo kay God?
No, ba't ako magtatampo sa God, no? Alam ko naman na mas alam niya kung anong kinabubuti ko. Yun nga, no, I was really sad. I mean to say, kung ikaw ba naman, di ka ba disappointed na yung highest award mo of your lifetime, hindi ikaw nakakuha. Ba't nagtampo pa ako? Hindi. Sabi ko, God, you know why? I feel bad. Alam nga naman, hindi ako feel bad. Human being na naman ako. Pero tampo ba yun? Hindi. I said, you must have a reason why it's like this. So, I don't make tampo to God.
Ano po yung rason na dumating sa inyo? Na
Hindi
galing
ko pa
sa
alam.
Diyos? Hindi pa rin.
No, well, first of all, number one, I got to learn a lesson that, that I cannot always have what I want. That's a very big lesson, no? And ako ngayon, ang sabi ko sa sarili ko, and I learned also, what happens is what should happen. Diba? And therefore, it is good as it is. Yun ang natutunan ko doon. In other words, surrender to what God wills for me. And that is a hard lesson to learn. And that's why I'm glad that God gave me an occasion to learn such a hard lesson, di ba?
And those are just inspiring words for the start of a new year.
Ay,
Thank you so much
Sige.
for your presence.
Oh,
It's
thank
been
you so much.
blessed
I'm honored
to
talaga
have you.
na
Thank
ikaw
you.
ang nag-interview sa akin.
Salamat po, sister.
Okay.
So catch us again next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Philippine Standard Time on One News. You can also check out the long conversation on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. I'm Kathy Yang, and this is Thought Leaders.